Hi there. Guess what? I'm back on this pasture. Well, I haven't done it an awful lot recently, but a couple of videos ago we had an amazing time digging just iffy signals, and I'm limiting myself to iffy signals today as well. I haven't dug an awful lot. I've been out here a very long time, but this this field can really surprise you. Now, I dug a lot of bottle tops. I'll wait till that big plane goes over. A lot of ring pulls, a lot of lead, musket balls, bits of iron, zippers, ring pulls, the whole bloody lot. That might be something, I think, or part of something, possibly a buckle of sorts, an early one. That looks like a mount, so there's a couple of definite bits which are definitely older. And this, now, you know, I do feel I've deserved this because, you know, as I said, I've been out a very long time just limiting myself to unobvious targets and borderline ones. Now, this, I thought it was very, very deep, and as it came out that colour, I thought, well, it could be Roman, it could be a very, very good Roman. Just in beautiful condition, so I gave it a little rub. It's not. Now, I don't think I've found one of these before, and there's two faces on it, so that can only be, if it's an English coin, one, as far as I know, it can only be two monarchs. It's William and Mary. It's a William and Mary farthing in the most incredible condition. I haven't really looked at it properly. Guillermo's there, et Maria. And that's just like it all, I mean, it's worn, a bit worn through use, not through corrosion. It's got Britannia on the other side, 1662. So, I mean, I don't think, these aren't common anyway, these William and Mary coins. And a farthing I don't think is common at all, especially in that condition.
Hi there, well, we've had to come here very, very quickly and very unofficially because we actually come back here properly in about 2 minutes time, just before you all said, oh no, you got it wrong, you got it wrong. It's not the only time two faces have appeared on a British coin. What I meant to say was it's the only time that two faces or two monarchs have appeared on a milled coin, because as you probably rightly were about to tell me, it has happened before. It's only happened once before, and it happens with Philip and Mary. The only difference being, as I said, that would have been on hammered silver and hammered gold. There wouldn't have been any copper coins around then. The Philip and Mary coins are between 1554 and 1558. And if you look at them, there's a silver one, which is, there's one of them on each side, but I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that there are ones, yes, here we go, Philip and Mary, lots of silver coins with double portrait, but in this case there's two separate faces, two separate portraits, busts, and they are facing each other. But there is only one other coin, and this one's a milled coin in copper, which has two monarchs on it, and this is this one, this is this farthing, and I'm absolutely thrilled with it because it is in the most incredible condition. They don't survive very well, these coins, they really don't. Just to have one like this is really, I think, extremely special and actually quite rare. I was also wrong, nothing like 1662 or whatever I said back then. It's actually 1694. And there's a couple of interesting points about that, which I'll just tell you very, very quickly before whizzing back to the field. And that is that there are the William and Mary coins, both of them together before she died of smallpox in 1694. They're only around for 5 years. And before these copper pennies, halfpennies, halfpennies and farthings in 1694, it was the only year they were produced, because before that they were actually made out of tin with a copper core to them. I haven't found an awful lot about it online, but I haven't delved into it particularly industriously, as it were. But here we are, we have tin and copper halfpennies, and in fact not even a penny. Pennies don't seem to exist at all. But here we are, here we have the 1694 copper halfpenny and the 1694 copper farthing just there. So it's the only year they were produced, and to find one in that condition, which is really, really, you know, really good, really raised portrait, raised Britannia. I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled. Really lucky me. Let's go back to the fields fast.
So I'm completely thrilled, but more than that, I've been over this land so many times. This was just a little tiny buzzer. It doesn't sound like that now, I tell you. I've got to go soon. This is a bit of a shame, but we'll come back here. We'll come back here soon, in the next couple of days. I've been out about 4 hours, and I've struggled. But then this. Now, I've not found one of these on this field, and I haven't seen it properly yet. It's a, oh my God. Okay, it's a, well, it's a Celtic, not Celtic, even though it could be either, technically, before people pick me up on it, but I'm going to say it correctly, Celtic. It's a little Celtic silver unit. I'm not going to rub it too much. It's got the horse on one side, I think, and on the other, is it the hedgehog or the porcupine or the something like that? I think these, I think the Iceni tribe did lots of sort of animals and stuff on both sides, but I'm not going to rub it too much. I'm absolutely thrilled. I was only thinking I haven't found silver. I found a bit of modern silver, sort of sixpences and all the rest of it recently, but I've not found early silver, Roman or Celtic silver, in a long time. And that's just, I mean, when I saw it, my heart just skipped a beat. I ran over to get my camera stuff, which I'd left miles away. I'd left my bag just to mark the hole, and I came back, and that's it. So, I mean, wow. I mean, we can go home. Well, we probably will go home on that. I'll stay out another half an hour just in case. Otherwise, we'll come back here. We'll come back here in the next couple of days. We've got to, because conditions are probably good, even though it is quite on the dry side. Anyway, look, not enough rabbiting here. Let's go back to headquarters, which we always do for Celtic coins, and have a closer look at it there. I've not found this type before. I'm completely over the moon. I'm thrilled. Okay, let's go.
Hi there, and welcome to headquarters to have a look at this little silver unit. Wow, well, it really, I haven't over cleaned it at all. I don't really want to, but it is in beautiful condition. And you've got the horse on that side. He's very raised, very little wear on that side, and very little wear on this side as well. And you've got, as I said at the time, porcupine, hedgehog. It's not. It's a boar. This is how they depicted boars, and it's got a few sort of spiky bits on his back. He looks like he's holding a staff, and there's some pellets in the ring on that side. And so, I mean, it's just an incredible thing. So where I found it was likely to be Iceni, which were the tribe in sort of Norfolk and North Suffolk, that sort of area. Famous, obviously, for mainly for Boadicea, is what they called her in Victorian times. We're now a bit more certain that the correct pronunciation would probably be more like Boudica, the warrior queen who rose up against the Romans in AD 60 in time of Nero, and caused an awful lot of damage, an awful lot of fuss, and an awful lot of concern to the Roman Empire until she was actually sort of squashed and died. I think she probably committed suicide. But this is it. So this is associated with that tribe. But they did not produce coins after the suppression of Boudica's revolution in AD 60, in the middle of the 1st century AD. So this coin is certainly before that, and it's likely to be about sort of 50 BC. And it's just it's just a beautiful coin. I mean, it's just a really rather wonderful thing. Now, when it comes to these sort of coins, there's only one place to go, as far as I'm concerned. You can look in your Spink, and it comes up in Spink under a general type of the thing. But this Ancient British Coins, I'll leave a link to it in the description. This is not a cheap book, but if you like Celtic coins and you want to know more about Celtic coins, or even if you think you might find Celtic coins, you've got to get this. If you buy it through the link, you'll be doing me a favour, because I probably get about £1 from every sale, and every little helps, as they say. So please do use it. I mean, it really is. It's the be-all and end-all. Now, there are the boar types in Spink, but much better to go straight to this. And I think I'm right in saying that that Chris Rudd, the author of this book, has actually done a book just concentrating on Iceni coins. So if that's what you're really into, then that's that's the one to get. But even now, even on the gold stakes, I can see a few of these boars. I put it on the detecting hub, even though I knew what it was, just for verification, and all the right people did come and tell me what they thought, that they agreed. And it is because Phil comes and verifies it here, it's a Freckenham boar, but there are all types of Norfolk boars, Snettisham boars, Freckenham boars, all sorts of things. And he puts in ABC 1537. So I can go straight to that now. So here we are. It's a Freckenham boar, silver unit, chunky boar, la-di-da, la-di-da. He does look like he's holding a staff. Stiff bristles with pellets at the end. And so that's it. But if you look underneath it, you've got the Norfolk boar, not dissimilar. Norfolk ring boar, stickman boar, that's what I thought it might be. And I have to confess, part of me when I use this book goes straight to the rarity index, where they have everything from common, not that I think any Celtic coin is common, but you've got common, less common, scarce, rare, very rare. And I quite like to see what my one comes under. And if you look at 1537 here, fingers crossed, 1573 rather. Extremely rare, so that's absolutely wonderful. I keep clutching it. Extremely rare, so that's just a wonderful coin. I was right in saying that they were keen on their horses, very much. The Iceni, I think they were fundamentally horse dealers, horse traders. But then there's a lovely little bit here about the fact that they do put lots of birds on their gold status. And being a sort of amateur ornithologist, that's absolutely wonderful. You've got avocets and lapwings and bitterns, all the sort of things that you'd find in the Norfolk fens. So they were very animal-based coins, even though there were quite a lot of heads there as well. So that is your ABC when you need to look up to your Celtic coins. That's the one you need. And so there we go. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I don't find that many of these, and that's just absolutely perfect. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to that, and let's go back to the fields.
As I said, we'll definitely go on for a little bit, but I can't afford much longer. But we will be back. Wow. Well, I'm being semi-ruthless, as I said today, because we were so successful the other day with all the dodgy ones we were finding. Now, there's a lot of bottle tops, a lot of ring pulls, there's a lot of modern coinage, all very shallow, but this, it's just, I feel it's just deep enough, possibly. Worth a dig today, anyway, because there aren't that many good signals. Right, it's right on the surface. Well, might be just deep enough. No, it's just quite a deep gold coloured ring pull. A little bit of brickwork there. But when they're that sort of depth, if they're double beeping on the surface, I'm leaving those. I have done for years, because I don't want to dig up ring pulls all day long. That could have gone either way. Well, I don't know what this is yet. We've got to go home after this anyway. I've run out of time. I've been here far too long. It's been a funny old day. I've found a couple of the most incredible things I've ever found, and very little around it. Now, this was more than a pinpointer deep. I'm not live digging because I don't have the time. Mind you, on top of that, I could hardly hear this myself. It would not have given any numbers if you'd got a remote or something like that. It wasn't even, there was no iron, it was just a tiny, tiny whisper, which I just dug on a bit of a whim just to sort of see if there was anything. Now, I'll show you. Here it is, it's probably just a piece of lead. But that was all the way down there. I mean, my God, it's tiny, whatever it is. And I'm not expecting it to be anything good. But, well, it's charming and the most incredible thing to end on. I mean, my God, this, I can't tell you how quiet this was. And at that depth, it's a mount of sorts. It's got its original gilding on it. It's got a cross, like the cross of St Andrew. It's a rectangular thing with a cross going either side of it, zigzagging. I would have thought that's got to be medieval. I'm not 100% sure. Could it be Roman? I've never found anything like it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll come back in a day or two. Back, windiest country in the world again. I've got my back to it, so you should be able to hear me okay. I'm not sure how much sound we're going to get speaker wise. I've forgotten the splitter to my speaker, but it's not so important today. We've done the last two videos have been very sound oriented. Funny enough, with these microphones, if you're facing the right direction, it sounds like you're in the calmest place on earth, but believe me, it's not. I've not had a bad start. Nothing fabulous, but I found an Edwardian penny, which I don't find that many of in good condition, so that's nice. And a Victorian halfpenny too. An old Victoria veil head by the look of it. So those two are very nice things. I've also found a little spectacle bottle, loads of ring pulls, all the like. I've dug more iron today than I usually do, mainly because I'm pushing the boundaries after the success of the last two outings. I've been pushing the boundaries rather when it comes to what might be and what might not be iron, so I'm now going to have to backtrack a bit on all that. I found what would have been a very nice spectacle bottle. There's only half of it. And then this got me really excited as I brought it out, because I thought, oh my god, something really fabulous. Now it's not fabulous, but it's a little bit later than what I tend to look for. I do quite like military stuff, but I'm not crazy about it. And I think that's a Georgian cat badge from the, hang on, I can read it. Oni Swaki Mali Ponce, there's all that lot going on. Anyhow, it's in lovely condition. And then this. Now I've come to parts of the field where usually there's an electric fence where the camera is now. So I can't get anywhere near this bit, but it's gone for the time being. So I might have a chance of doing a bit of where I don't usually get to. And I've just dug up this. Now this gave me a monster signal. So I don't know how I've missed it before. And this again, it was too close to where there's too much interference. Now I think I might have broken this. Well, I don't know actually. Now I look at it. It could have been me, it may not have been. It's a very hard copper, this, so hopefully it wasn't me, but it's a buckle. Now I think they're just pre-Tudor, these. The shape of it is definitely Tudor, I think, but I think that's just a little bit earlier, maybe 1450. It's got very crude notches all the way around it, so that's a sort of very late medieval buckle, I think, and I'm absolutely thrilled with it. It's a beautiful thing, and I will probably be able to straighten it out if I'm really careful, but then bent copper like this does tend to snap, so one's got to be a bit careful. But anyway, it's a great start. I have been here an hour and a half or so, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, as I said, I am definitely digging more iron today, but I'm digging stuff which is right on the edge. And if you saw my second last video, we were digging with some success, to be fair. Now, I'm not so sure. Well, what do you think of this? Now, I've gone down about 14 inches. It sounded much the same as it's sounding now. I hope you can hear that. If I can get the mic round the right way. There we go. Do you think that's iron? Pretty much. There's definitely a grunt there, and it's a long way down. But it is just there. Now, I don't know what it is either. We'll bring it out and have a look. I mean, if it's not iron, I'll be absolutely thrilled. Because, you know, I don't like wasting time at the best of times. Bugger, it is iron. No, it's still in there. And the amount of iron I'm digging at the moment, I am wasting time. Is that it? It's not iron, hooray! That was a long way down, look at that. It's a full pinpointer and about 2 inches. And it's not iron. Now look, it's not going to break any records. It's nothing in particular, but it's as I often say in these videos, it's the best possible sign you can get. It's a very, very old lump of bronze. It might have been part of something. I don't think it's a pot leg or anything like that. I think it's earlier than that. I think that goes back a very, very long way. And it's just the best sign in the world. Not that I needed one. I don't need a good sign here. I know it's good. But if you find things like that at 15 inches, then you know you're onto a good thing. So yes, I am wasting time by digging some of these signals, but then again, that could have been something fabulous. And in my mind, it still is fabulous because it's just the best sign in the world. But cool, anyway, hard work digging these very, very deep targets. Look, I'm going to take a photograph of that to show you how deep that is. Not a photograph, a little video, look. That's how far down we went for that. If you're enjoying me digging all these mad targets, please let me know, because they're fun to do videos like this. I mean, I am ignoring anything obvious, just going for these. Now I know the secret and the trick. Well, I wish I'd live dug that, because I was going to. It's not going to be a record breaker, I don't think. But there it is, look. It's a little strap end. It's a little medieval strap end. And that's just charming. Got both bits to it. But I think that's what it is. Can't think what else it would be. But that's just really lovely. And gave a sound, as you could probably imagine, just a sort of high-pitched buzz. So again, it's not going to break any records, but a lovely little piece of medieval history. Gosh. Well, I've just dug. Gosh, I've found a lot of stuff today. I've dug 3 holes, all within about a metre of each other. One and two were very close. One there, and then this one here. And I've got something else to show you as well. It's been rather an interesting half an hour or so. And let me just plug you in quickly just to show you what they would basically. They were all very close to the surface. I don't have my splitter. That was that one. That was the same, wasn't it? Well, they're 2 little strips of lead, so no surprise. This was just very slightly higher, but I thought, oh, probably just another piece of lead. It's not. Now, when I looked at it at this side, and the first side I thought, well, modern silvered button. It's not, I don't think. There's a little hallmark there, I think, a B or something. I turned it round, and it's got the 2 hearts below the crown. Now, I think I'm right in saying that that's something to do with Catherine of Braganza and her husband, Charles II, or lover Charles II. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember the exact relationship between the two, and the symbolism of the hearts and the crown. Well, fairly obvious symbolism, come to think of it. But that's just a lovely, is it a stud, is it a cufflink? It's got a bit of mud in the middle. There's two parts to it. Now I have found these double-hearted things before, so that's why I know what they're like, and they're not uncommon finds, but I don't quite know how that one works. Anyway, the bottom line is that it's a lot earlier than that side, I think, leads you to believe. So I'm absolutely thrilled with that. And the other thing I've got here is this. Now, this isn't going to break any records, but it's an early one. It's a crotal belt fragment. Well, there's more than half of it there. It's actually in rather good condition. It's beautifully decorated, but I've never seen this this bit on the bottom. Usually you get a hammer, which is very common, or you've got the odd initial. Now I think these are initials. Does it say HW or MN? I'm not so sure. We'll have to find that out, but that's just fabulous as well. That's a really, really cool thing. It's something I've not found before. Not those marking. I think they're MH or HW, one of the two. So that should be fairly easy to look up. So two really cool 17th century finds.
Hi, welcome to another very quick unofficial visit. No teleportation this time, even though I am working on something I hope will be quite fun, actually getting me to the desk, but I just don't have time for it this week. My knowledge of 16th, 17th, 18th century English history is appalling, as it turns out. I'm really sorry. I should know so many more dates than I do, and it's mainly because I concentrate on the Roman, Saxon and medieval, but I really need to buckle down and sort this out. But just a quick look at this stud. Now these things do get found, as I said, and more often than not they're cufflinks. There aren't that many studs that have been recorded. I mean, this might be a cufflink of sorts, but I think it looks more like a stud, a dress stud. I don't know quite how it worked, but it would, a button or a sort of a button or a fastener of sorts. They do get found, these double-hearted things, but as I said, not so many studs, even though I found a very, very similar one here. And I am right in saying they were made originally to commemorate, they believe, the marriage of Catherine of Braganza and Charles II in 1662, which lasted quite a long time. It was a marriage of convenience, like a lot of marriages in those days, obviously. England did very well out of it. She was a Portuguese princess, a very wealthy Portuguese princess. They had loads of They had, I think, provinces or areas like sort of Tangier and Bombay were included in the marriage deal, which greatly helped British sort of business and commerce. I don't think it was a particularly happy marriage to start off with. She was Catholic, which didn't help, and at one point she was accused of actually trying to bump off Charles II, and she was in all sorts of trouble, but it was he who protected her and stopped any sort of impeachment. As I said, I think they did sort of love each other to a degree. She didn't ever bear him a child. He had loads of mistresses, which I think she sort of vaguely had to put up with, but they did remain together for a very long time, for sort of 25, 30 years or so, until Charles died. Anyway, so this is this cufflink, so this is that, and it's an absolutely beautiful little object. It says here, this motif commonly found on 17th century cufflinks and buttons may have celebrated the marriage of Catherine and Charles, and probably continued in use for some times afterwards as a popular symbol for marriage. No kidding. I mean, it's a bit schmaltzy, isn't it? Now, what I didn't appreciate at the time is this is probably going to come up the treasure. It's over 300 years old and it's made of silver. This one here had to go through the treasure process, but it was returned to finder. So hopefully I'll declare this in the next couple of days, and that will hopefully come back to me as well. So that's just a lovely little thing. I'm thrilled with that. And then just very quickly, this little crotal bell. Now, I haven't quite got to the bottom of this either, even though I am actually, I think it must be HW. I will put it on the detecting hub and see what they say. But meanwhile, the Rod Blunt, if I put in crotal bell HW, there is a website called Crotal Bells under the UK Detective Finds database, and there is a list in here. It goes through how you date them, all the rest of it. It's a very good site of initials and names on Crotal Bells, and here is an HW, which is William Seller's unnamed foreman. Now I think William Seller was a foundry in York in the 17th century. but there's no other HW on that list. But I'll get to the bottom of that and tell you about it. Anyhow, thank you very much for that, and let's go back to the field.
I'm worn out digging deep targets, so we probably won't be out that long. The next hole you get will probably be the last one. Well, that was quite loud. And just goes to show we're still finding stuff here. Look at that. How wonderful. Well, I think it's got to be another strap end, hasn't it? But look at the design on it. Isn't that beautiful? You can see where it would have sort of gone there. So I'm not making much sense now. I'm really tired. I've dug a lot of holes today. But that's rather lovely. So I'm pleased with that. And that was not a subtle signal. It was definitely deeper than a ring pull, so that's why I dug it, and it didn't sound like a coin, funnily enough. A modern coin anyway, so I had a good chance from down there. But wow, yeah, nice. Nice medieval strap-end, I think. I'm afraid you're getting much the same view as always these days, because unless I have my back to the wind, you're not going to hear me. We'll end on this. Now this is a lovely little buzzer. I don't think it's very deep, which means it can go either way. But it's a nice signal, and it's not an obvious one. Let's have a I'll plug you in. I'll remember my splitter next time and make things a bit easier. Pretty faint, it sounds in my ears, it sounded a little bit higher pitch than that, to be fair. It's not very big, and I think it's probably quite close to the surface. I'm not that hopeful, but I don't think it's not a ring pull, it's not a coin. So it's got a chance of being something. God, it might even be another little unit, silver unit, for all I... Still there. My God, this wind. I know I always complain about it. I simply don't remember it being this windy as a child. Don't remember every time I come out. I love it. I don't mind it. It does bugger up our sound recording a bit, but I don't remember every single time I go out it being this windy in summer, winter, spring. Well, I tell you when I'm pinpointing well, and I tell you when I'm pinpointing badly. Pinpointing well today, that's bang in the centre, and it's still there. Well, it's out. Fingers crossed, sounds like lead to me. And that's all it is. I am sorry, you lot. It's just a crappy bit of lead at depth. Anyway, what fun, what real fun. It's lovely weather. It's the end of September. Who could ask for more? So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.